beautiful from Fred Lucy Laughing, and I'm here with my Irish Readathon TBR and some recommendations for everyone who also wants to join in and doesn't know what to read. So I'm so excited to tell you about all the books I'm reading. A few of these I will definitely have mentioned in previous Irish Readathon TBRs, and I just never got around to them because I always feel like I just have so much to read every year and then I just never seem to get around to all of them. It's so annoying. So this year I'm going to try and power through as much as I can because I just want to read all these amazing Irish books so I just have more room on my shelves for next year and the year after. So the first challenge was to read a book with green on the cover. We find this is just a really easy one for people who might want to take part in the Readathon but might not have access to Irish authors, and this is just a way for everyone, if they just want to take part by reading one book, you can just do this by picking any book with green on the cover. I have two books here, both of which have green on the cover. One is actually a kind of short story collection for children, and it's Once Upon a Time, compiled by Owen Colfer and illustrated by PJ Lynch. As you can see, it is a gorgeous kind of illustrated cover here and there's loads of green on it. This is a collection of stories and poems from all over Ireland by favourite Irish writers, including spooky stories and funny stories. It is just a really cute kind of book that children could probably read, but adults I'm sure can get a lot of enjoyment from as well. I received this from Little Island Books I think last year in exchange for an honest review, and I never got around to it, so I'm hoping to get around to it this year. And another one I have that has green on the cover as well is An Encounter with the Number 12 by Janet O'Leary. Full disclosure, this this is a self-published book, and the author of this is actually my boss's mum, because obviously my whole office knows that I love to read, so my boss did give this to me because he thought I would like to read it, and it's perfect time to read it during the Irish Readathon because obviously it is written by an Irish author. So this is another one that I think is more for middle grade audiences, but it sounds really, really cute. It's about a little boy called Padder who goes on like kind of some sort of a magical adventure with his goat, who's called Billy Bon. This includes, I think, loads of different riddles and also some fairies, and I love a good story with a fairy in it, whether they be good fairies or bad fairies. So I'm very excited to get to this one eventually because it's been sitting on my desk for ages because I was saving it again for the Irish Readathon, so I'm very excited to get to this one. The second challenge was to read a book by an Irish author set in Ireland that is published between 2018 and 2020. So I have a few good options on my TBR list for this. One is a very interesting book, and I got it a while ago from O'Brien, and it is Resistance by Brian Gallagher. I don't know if I ever showed this in a vlog or a different video. Again, it's kind of a shorter book. It's kind of for, I think, middle grade audiences. This is set in 1943 in Dublin, and I think it's kind of this reimagined history of what Ireland would have been like if the Nazis had invaded. And we're following a little boy, I think, we're following a little girl who is actually Jewish. She's actually Jewish, and she is hiding from the soldiers. So this sounds like it could be really interesting. It's just one of those ones that I keep remembering that I have on my shelf and I need to read because there's just something better that's very intriguing. So I want to get to this one. Another one I showed in my book haul a few weeks ago, and that was High Fire by Owen Colfer. This is Owen Colfer's first, I think, fantasy for adults. And all I know about this one is this is about a boy who becomes an apprentice to this guy. I think he might be a little bit shady, and this guy kind of wants to, I think, take some land over at the swamp near them, but there is a dragon that is living in the swamp and who makes life difficult for them. And I've shown him before, but I still love the cover of this, which is a dragon holding a martini, and I just think it's so funny. So this is one I'm really interested to read because I love Owen Colfer. I love his writing. It's always really humorous and just fun, and yeah, it should be a good one. And another one I have on NetGalley is actually 6 Wicked Reasons by Jo Spain, which is a thriller. I know actually very little about this. I think this might take place with like a group of friends who are on holiday and something happens. I think that might be it, but I could be wrong. But Jo Spain is a thriller writer, and again, this is one that I really want to read, so it should be good. And that one also has green on the cover, so it combines 2 challenges. The third book, I have so many options, which is to read a book by an Irish author who won an award. So yeah, Irish authors have won lots of awards, so I have loads of like really good options for these ones. 2 I actually have on my shelf. Both these won Irish Book Awards, one 2 years ago I think, and one a good few years ago. And one is this is literally shown up on my last 2 Irish Readathon TBRs, and I have not read it. That is The Break by Marion Keyes. I've never read a Marion Keyes book. I know, I'm awful. Please take my Irish passport away from me right now. And I'm hopefully maybe this year will be the year that I read it, but I don't know if it will. But maybe it will. But this is an option for the Irish Readathon for that challenge. We will see. And then the next one is The Year I Met You by Cecilia Ahern. This is one Cecilia Ahern that I just, one of the few that I have on my bookshelf that I just haven't read yet. This is a few years old. I think this must be This was published in 2014 and I think I got it the year it was published, and I just still haven't read it. This is about two strangers who meet each other on New Year's Eve, and both of them are like going through issues in their lives, and it is about just a friendship, I think, and then probably a romance that starts to blossom between them and how they help each other out. I love the cover on this one as well. It's quite gorgeous. So yeah, the others that I have reserved from the library, so they might come in, they might not come in. I'm kind of just waiting to see. So one of them is Days Without End by Sebastian Barry, which won the Costa Book Award. I read A Secret Scripture by Sebastian Barry, which I really enjoyed, so I'm hoping I will also like his writing in this one. I think The Secret Scripture was the only book I've read of his, so I'll be interested to see if I like his writing in this one. And then also Milkman by Anna Burns, that won the Man Booker Prize in 2018, I think, and this is really interesting. It's set in the north. I think it might be set during the Troubles, and it's supposed to have a really interesting type of style of writing. I think no one has names, and there's no like actual dialogue in it. It's all just like one continuous kind of page, I think. So that should be interesting. Both those I have reserved from my library. And I've also reserved an audiobook, The Lesser Bohemians by Emer McBride. This won the Bailey's Women's Prize for Fiction in 2016, I think. I think it was 2016, I'm not really sure. But the Bailey's Women's Prize for Fiction when it was the Bailey's Women's Prize for Fiction and not just the Women's Prize for Fiction. Actually do not know what this one is about, but it has a very nice cover and I am looking forward to reading it. And obviously past winners of book awards, if people don't know, are books that people might get their hands on easier, such as Liz Nugent, the last few books of hers, Skin Deep, Our Little Cruelties is her latest book. Skin Deep, Lying in Wait, as both of them have won awards, and then also Sally Rooney, Normal People, that has won awards, and John Boyne as well, some of his books have won awards too. And John Boyne is actually, I'm going to read his book for the challenge of read a book with queer characters or written by a queer author. I want to read The Heart's Invisible Furies, which is about a gay man growing up in Ireland, so that fits for that challenge. And also obviously John is also a gay man from Ireland, so it fits. That one I also have Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Corcoran, which I still have not read, and it will be read. It will be read by the end of March, I promise you that. The recommendation for that one would be Melanie Murphy's books, because she is identifies as bisexual, so she fits for that one. Also Deirdre Sullivan's Perfectly Preventable Deaths, which I have here, which has a character who is a lesbian. Also Other Words for Smoke by Sarah Marie Griffin, which I have somewhere on my shelves, just don't know where it is. She also has characters who are lesbians in that book as well, so that also fits. And then also Emma Donoghue, who is an amazing Irish author, and she herself, she is gay as well. I'm pretty sure she's gay, and she also writes books with gay characters, so yay. And then the last challenge is to read a book under 150 pages. I have a gorgeous I have a gorgeous version of The Tower by W.B. Yeats, which I got as a Christmas present. This Christmas just gone, which is obviously a collection of poetry by W.B. Yeats, which sounds gorgeous, and I think this would be a really nice one to read some evening during March. And then I also have this book here, which is The Ungrateful Princess. I've shown this before in Irish Readathon TBR, which I just have never gotten to this one. This is a really random one that I bought somewhere in Donegal, and it was just being sold in this shop, and it turns out she was just a woman, Noelle Vile, who wrote these poems. She was a local woman from Donegal, and she passed away. I think she died from cancer, and then her family just published these poems in this gorgeous little book just to remember her by. The cover of it is really nice, and there's just something about it that just sounds really interesting, so I want to read those and see what I think. Not a huge poetry reader, but look, I have two poetries, so there you go. I actually don't have a huge amount of recommendations for books under 150 pages, but I think Leanne over at Leanne Rose, who's one of my co-hosts, she is a prolific poetry reader, and I think she will have loads of amazing suggestions for books under 150 pages, which are probably plays and poems, so I will divert you over to her channel for those great recommendations in that sense. So yeah. So those are a few of the things I want to read during March. I obviously, as always, have loads of other books on my shelves and surrounding me right now. It would take me forever to go through all of them. We will see what happens. Hopefully I will get at least some of these read, and I don't get distracted by other things. Please let me know if you guys know what you guys are reading yet for the Irish Readathon, if any of these books are ones that you would like to read as well, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!